But what they don't realize is that Jay-Z it lives below his means. But but if you don't get that dream car, would you feel like a failure or something?
No, I wouldn't. I would definitely like the car. I think I'm on the path to getting that. I'm making good choices and being able to go to sleep and being happy, not feeling stressed because there's so many bills and you can't pay them. So it's better to be able just to have restful sleep at night than to,
Oh, it sure
yeah.
is. It sure is. And if I can mention, um, one of the reasons why I have such a great relationship with my son's mother is, not only do we're good friends and we get along, but she has never had to, she sleeps good at night knowing that um, I have her back, and if there's any trouble or drama in her life, it's not gonna come from me. When she well, my son was diagnosed with autism, and
Okay.
she fell into a depression, and I told her, she was stressed at work. I said, leave that job, don't worry about it. We're going on 2 years in September. She hasn't worked since, and so I think that being able to I don't want to say support her because she helps me with my rental business, but she sleeps good at night knowing that my priority is my sons and her wellness. We're in this together, and so I think that if men had better relationship with their the people that they're co-parenting with, knowing that they have each other's back, um, we could avoid a lot of the drama and the child support and all that stuff because I talk to women and they say they have to practically beg or argue over, hey, can you help out with this? And so for me, um, having additional income, um, I'm like, you don't go back to work until you're ready to go back to work. um, and and it really, I know everybody can't do that, but um, my life is, I live a stress-free life, and part of that is having a good relationship with her. And because I'm happy and I'm healthy, it gives me more time to think about, to be creative and think about other business ideas. I'm not going to war with my son's mother. She sleeps very good at night, knowing that if anybody got her back, it's me. So I just had to throw that out there because you said restful sleep. It's very important. It's
Yeah.
such a, oh, I love going to sleep and having a place to go to sleep. Just the basics: food, clothing, shelter. I don't think people appreciate the little things.
Definitely. I'm glad that you brought that up, that you have a good relationship with the mother of your child. That's really important. Even though, the relationship isn't working, being able to co-parent is like the next best thing. It makes me feel good and hopeful about, other people's relationships. If we can have more people telling their story about like the positive things instead of the baby mama, baby daddy drama, then we can aspire. I think more people can aspire to that too.
That's something that I want to talk about on my channel, and I will. But it goes back to me. Sometimes I'm in my car and I'm talking, but a lot of times I delete it. I second guess myself, and I think that's what stops a lot of us from putting out content because we're worried about, how we're gonna be perceived. If we say the wrong thing or we stumble over our words. I mean, I'm always amazed that people are even listening to me. Some people have listened to entire videos that were like 45 minutes. Most of my videos are short, but I'm just like, wow, they listening to my black ass. Like, um, but I want to, um, I the, tying this in with the manosphere. somebody has to tell the truth and let people know that, you know what, if you respect your child's mother and women see that you do, it makes you more attractive and more appealing, because she's like, if this is how he treats his ex, imagine how he would treat me if I were his woman. And so what they may call simping, um, what they don't realize is that it's very mature to have good, healthy relationships with people that you used to date. And, being respectful and responsible, in my experience, I get a lot of compliments from women. My social media page, I probably have dinner with my son and his mother tonight, and I may, record it. And I get a lot of compliments. Like, I really appreciate, and it's refreshing to see you guys get along. Um, and I'll be honest. I will be honest. I'm a man. You know what I mean? Um, I like the attention. I don't do it for the attention. Um, but if me just being me is enough for a woman to be, to garner the interest, um, I mean, and I didn't have to put on a Gucci belt. All I had to do was be myself and be respectful. I'll take it. I will take it. Give me all that love.
Yes, yes, definitely. That is so true. I always say when I was dating and all of that, if the person calls their ex crazy, that's like a red flag. I'm like, like, did you drive that person crazy or did you do something? I'm always looking at the person like, how was you with them for so long if they were crazy or whatever? Like, it has to be more to the story. So it is good when, because everybody, I guess, has, their toxic traits or whatever. But if you can get along with your ex and end on a positive or just a cordial, then that's always a good sign, I think.
Absolutely.
So speaking of the relationships between partners and spouses, there's a lot of conversation about women having high expectations or maybe even too high of expectations. And women may think that men just don't measure up to, the bare minimum. What do you feel about that? Do you think women have too high expectations, or can you elaborate on your thoughts on that?
I think the expectations in general are reasonable. I think it goes back to social media. Um, there is this idea that all women want a man making a certain amount of money, and I believe, and I think that's untrue. Um, I do. I mean, we do know that it is. It, I would be, or we would be lying to say that money doesn't matter. That people are not paying attention. I think we all pay attention, but um, women aren't out saying that if you don't make $100,000, I don't want to date you. The women that are, I think that's a small percentage of the population. People have promoted this idea that the blue collar man is undesirable, and that's absolutely false. Because you know, having gone to college and graduated, I see, you know, women marry the men that they like, first and foremost. I have a friend, her mother is a high ranking executive at the Clorox Corporation, the vice president of something, and is a mechanic. And they've been together for a long time. They have a nice house way up in the hills. I think there's a reasonable expectation for each person to contribute, but I don't think that women are unrealistic. Like if we're using, we'll say Kevin Samuels, his show, and he asks a woman, do you want to work when you're pregnant? And my thing is like, well, what woman wants to work when they're pregnant? Like who would raise their hand and say, yeah, I want to be on my feet? Or like nobody. As a matter of fact, it's like asking somebody, would you like to be on vacation or would you like to be at work? Everybody wants to be on vacation. It's misleading for people to promote this idea that that women don't want regular working class blue collar men, teachers, whatever, that it has to be a dollar amount. Sure, there are some, but in general, I think the expectations are as the same as I think the expectations are lower because back in the day, when it was more common for or women weren't in the workforce as much as they are now. The expectation was, you were the breadwinner, and you were expected to take care of your family. Now that black women are graduating college more than black men, they're making their own money. Um, a lot of times, it's very common for married couples to split the bills. If they're not putting everything in one pot, it's not uncommon. There is a valid question that if he lost his job, would his wife start to look at him differently? And I think that um, that's a reasonable question to ask, and I think that's where you have to marry the right person because um, hard times, we just went through COVID-19. You know, people were laid off. People got their salaries reduced. If you can weather the storm, um, you'll be all right. But I wouldn't want to be with a woman who wouldn't want to be with me if I were to lose my job or if I were to become paraplegic. I talked about this in one of my videos. Like, what happens when the unthinkable happens and now you're in a wheelchair for the rest of your life because you had an accident at work? Is your wife going to leave you? And so if you think that she would do that, if she's that type, and then maybe you shouldn't marry her,
Yeah.
So do women have unrealistic expectations? I say absolutely not, especially for black men. We still have a lot of room to grow. We're the black family in general when it comes to wealth. We're at the bottom as a group. So,
Yeah.
no, they don't have unrealistic expectations, none at all. Go to work, come home, take care of your family. If you're not at work and she's at work, help out. Like, it's like cook,
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know, help out with the homework. I changed diapers when my son was young. I'm not I'm not above anything.
For a woman who's making a certain amount of money, do you think it's unrealistic for her to want someone who's making that, or at least on track or in a field to make the same? Or because some men want a traditional wife, or as in submissive, and it's hard to be submissive if you are the breadwinner. So is it unrealistic for someone who makes six figures as a woman to want a man that makes six figures?
I think um I don't think it's unrealistic. I think that it depends on, your social circle. If you hang around, if you're, let's say for instance, you're a physician
Mhm.
and you have your friends are circle, you hang with physicians or
Yeah.
whatever, people who generally, have a higher income, chances are you're gonna, meet a fellow physician
Mm.
and their income, will be around, somewhere around what you want. I don't think that's unrealistic at all. I think that, people should have the ability to go for what they want and to tell somebody that they can't have it or it's not out there. I think the problem is um, proximity, expecting this person to live right next to you or be, within a certain radius. I think that that's unrealistic because if you set a dollar amount, and then you say, all right, you need to make this much money, and then you need to be attractive, and then you need to be this, and this, and then you have to be somewhere where I can meet up with you after work, and you know, and you got to be single, you know, and you got to have a good attitude. Um, I think that it's unrealistic to think that that person is going to fall in your lap or that they live close to you. And so
Mhm.
you should, you know, use a bigger net and consider dating people or connecting with people outside of where you live. If that means different ethnic groups, if you're open to dating other ethnic groups, um, I think that, you know, that would solve that problem. But it doesn't account for the lifestyle that that person is living. If they're not smart with their money, if they're not, you know, frugal or careful, you can be making 300,000 a year and still be struggling. You know, it happens all the time. You create these bills, this mortgage, this McLaren, you know, unless you paying cash for everything,
Yeah.
uh, some people might get a rude awakening and they realize, well, the money that I was, it ain't, you know, it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. I met
Mhm.
someone making the money, but they're lacking in so many other areas. The other thing about that is I think it's a bad benchmark because it sets this precedence that 100,000 is different than 90,000, right? Like
Right.
you're really gonna do with an extra 10,000. That's not, you can't get a bigger house. You, you can get some leather seats, you know what I mean? But what is the difference?
Right, right, right.
Like, come on now.
I'm glad that you mentioned like casting a bigger net because I think that's kind of limiting people when they're only looking in certain areas. If you're looking for something and these people don't come here, you're not going to find it. So you have to
Mhm.
go out and expand and travel or expand
Yes,
your options, whatever it is. Yeah,
yes, yes.
definitely. So, do you think that women, the modern day woman, is more masculine, or do you think men are more feminine?
I say women are doing what they need to do, and it doesn't make a woman masculine because she's trying to survive and work in a world that's controlled by men. Like this is still a man's world. I'm a handy guy. I like to build and fix things. It's a hobby of mine. Doesn't make me more of a man. I just like to build and fix things. Now there's some people who would say that those are manly things, or it's very masculine to get up on a roof or crawl under a car. Um, but I can still be trash as hell. You know what I mean? I can still be overly emotional, as they say women are. They say women are more than men. You know, people treat you different based on your gender. Um, you may have to be a little more assertive. And does that mean masculine? I don't think assertive is masculine. I don't think standing is masculine. I don't think intelligence is masculine. I can't say that women have become more masculine. I would say that they're just more assertive and more intentional and not going with the okey doke. And I think that it's just evolution, and I think
Yeah.
very attractive. I don't want a woman that's going to listen to everything I say and go along with it. I need her to, I want to be challenged. I want to be, you know, when I say challenged, I mean, like, I don't know, I don't have all the answers. Like, when I got promoted to management at my job, there was a woman I was dating who had been in management, and I asked her for advice, and she gave me a lot of tips. So,
Mhm.
not only was the sex good, you know what I mean, she was helping me grow and into my new role, you know
Yeah.
because she had been doing it, and like it I was so thankful. That's the type of woman that I want to be around. I'm more for doing what makes sense, not what I'm not gonna let my gender dictate what I do. We're gonna do what makes sense. I would marry a woman who would sit down with me and write out our goals and do what makes sense for us and our family, not what looks better for public perception based on our genders. You know,
Mhm.
nobody could make me feel bad about being a stay-at-home dad. You
Right.
know, um, I'll give you another one quick example. I asked some friends of mine, like, if your husband left his wallet at home, or boyfriend, and you were out eating with friends, would you, as the wife, pull out your card and pay, or would you hand your card to your husband so that he could do it? There were mixed responses where some people said I would give it to my husband. And for me, I'm like, I am not so caught up in my image that I have to physically, I need people to see me putting my card. It doesn't matter. Um, and that's just one example of people worrying about other people's perception, um,
Yeah.
these gender roles, masculine and feminine.
Wow. That would seem to be emasculating to me. Like you have to pretend to to,
I'm
like,
telling you,
I don't know if I'm thinking about it, like why would I
people
hide
do
and
that.
sneak the card to pay?
People do that.
Wow, that whoa. I mean, I don't want to judge, but that just seems like it's
Yeah,
unnecessary.
yeah,
And when you were talking, it just dawned on me that a lot of the things that we attribute to masculinity are more of the positive traits. So assertiveness, that will be more positive than being passive or passive
right,
aggressive.
right,
So when you're always talking about masculine is intelligent, it's strong, it's all of these positive things, and the woman is the opposite of that, or the feminine is the opposite of that. It's
right,
giving us a mentality that men are good and women are bad. Like,
right.
like, no, we're all good and bad together.
Right.
I want to ask you about something that I saw on the internet. Hidden rules among the social classes. And it's something that was done by a lady named Ruby Payne. The one that stood out to me was family structure. And for the people with I guess, a poverty mindset or just in poverty, they're more likely to be matriarchal.
Patriarchal.
Yeah. And the middle class is more likely to be patriarchal. But then the wealthy, it says, just depends on who has money. And when I was thinking about that, and I'm really analyzing it, the only thing I can think of is like a person who's in poverty, they're matriarchal because they only have one working adult in the home. So they're going to more likely be in poverty. A two-parent family, they're more likely to be patriarchal because there's two parents in the family. And that's just our, society just tends to be patriarchal anyway. But with the wealthy individuals, they don't really subscribe to those patriarchal, matriarchal. Basically, they're just following who has the money. And that person is the one who, is the leader, I guess I should say. That's how I took it. How do you see that?
Interesting. Interesting. The wealth depends on who has the money. I think it's probably speaking to if somebody marries into wealth, the person who brought the wealth, maybe they can be viewed as the leader as opposed to a um, a family that built it together. It just makes me think that these people didn't build together. That because if they built it together, then it's supposed to be both of their money, and
True.
that's what I'm thinking. If they built it together, then it's theirs. Um, but if somebody built it on their own and then married someone who didn't have it, I could see how it could be. It could depend on who has the money. But they also say that men might feel emasculated if if the woman is, the breadwinner, um, I wouldn't, you know, whoever makes the money, it doesn't change, who I am. I'm not going to respect somebody more because they make more money than me. I think
Mhm.
we all deserve respect, but I mean, you don't get to. I think that the decision making should be based on what makes the most sense and what's best for the family, not who who has the final say. I just really want it to be what's best. It's the way I do things with my son's mother. I mean, it's always about him. What is the best for him when it comes to schooling and medical and everything. We decide on what's best for him, and that's the way we go. Um, but I wouldn't want to be in a relationship where um, I don't have no say so because I only came to the table with X amount of dollars. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Depends on who has the money. I could see how she would put that there.
Yeah. And to me, I think society in general is patriarchal, as American society. And as a woman, we take on the man's name. That's a patriarchal thing.
Right.
Everything is based on, following what the man does, because you have two people and the woman is going to be the lesser of the two. But if there's a wealthy family, maybe she's not going to take on his name because her name means more. So
Wow.
those are sorts of things
Right.
that aren't necessarily like, okay, I make all the rules, but it's just like those those societal roles or pressure that
Lineage. Right.
yeah,
Right.
that. And for the people in poverty, you're never going to have, in my opinion, a matriarchy in America, even though they say the Black community is matriarch, only because the woman is single. But a true matriarchy to me would include a man and a woman. You can't be a matriarch without having a partner. Like your children are, you're supposed to take care of your children. I asked one question of everybody who's on the show, and that is, what is your favorite wealth building activity?
My favorite wealth building activity would be um, I want to say real estate, creating rental income, and like I said, this house, my property was one house when I bought it, and now it's four.
Mm.
Um, and I I think that um, I like I like them rent checks. Uh, everybody needs a place to stay. Um, and I'm not looking for another job. So I'm the type that I want to do the hard work up front and then reap the benefits later down the line. Um, I am um, I am not an instant gratification type of person, not anymore. Now that I'm a father, I understand the importance of putting away stuff for my son and knowing that when he becomes of age, it'll be bigger and more than what it is now. Um, so yeah, I think that land, property ownership, the simple fact that you can take the equity out of it and buy more with it, you know, um, and everything that I've done, I tell people that I invest in real estate. What they don't understand is that everything that I've spent has been all on this one property, right?
Mhm.
You to invest into this property and add on to it. And I'm gonna do some videos to show, my little compound.
All right, yeah, I love
Because
that.
it is like a compound. I've been adding little houses here and there in my little compound. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that is in addition to being, living in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, and Oakland, right next to San Francisco, Everybody wants to live in California. They come here for the tech jobs, the weather,
Yeah.
um, and because of those things, that's why um, the cost of housing is so expensive, uh,
Mhm.
because people are flocking here for things that I just mentioned. So I would say, yeah, real estate rental income. That would be my absolute favorite. In addition to, I would say, I want to say education, and I don't mean formal degree. I
Mhm.
mean, just expanding your knowledge, reading, consuming content that um, that you can learn something from. Yesterday, I was listening to some videos on YouTube about a company, a brother who started a pressure washing company uh,
Mhm.
on a whim. He bought a pressure washer. He learned how to pressure wash, and now he makes $500 a day and driving around in his truck pressure washing properties. And I like to consume content like that. Telling different stories about ways that people can make a living. It's educational to me. They say YouTube is a edutainment, entertainment and education combined.
Mhm.
I say not only the rental income, it's also filling my brain and reading as much as I can because with that knowledge, it'll spill over into other areas in my life, or even making a YouTube video about something that I learned that people may not be aware of. So I say education, self education in real estate. Like
Nice.
I taught myself how to build stuff via YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I did a solar panel project. It would have cost me like 20 or 25,000. It ended up costing me 8,000 because I did it myself. But I had to literally binge watch YouTube videos on solar panels and then get up there and do it. And so now I have a new skill that I don't want to do. I'm not trying. But if push came to shove, I could approach a solar company and say, hey, I could pursue something blue collar if push came to shove if I had to, um, or even on the consulting side, if somebody wants to save money and do it themselves and save $10,000, then maybe I can show them how I did it. So I educated myself on solar panels. I added it to my house. I increased my home value. I developed another skill, and it's a win-win. Just one example.
Yeah, that's excellent. And of course, like you said, the area you're in is definitely a plus when you're on that side of it,
Hmm.
receiving the rent payment. So
Hmm.
definitely that's awesome. So I just want to thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me today and answer all my questions. You have been just, you have so much knowledge, and I appreciate you a lot. I
Thank you.
enjoy your channel and I'll continue to watch your videos. So please don't stop making them.
Thank
um,
you.
do you want to go ahead and shout out any of your social media, YouTube, anything?
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. It is truly an honor for me to be on your channel and to sit and talk with you. I am humbled whenever I get an email from anyone. It's always humbling. So thank you. You can find me on YouTube at the Deadbeat Dad. Um, Also, you can find me via email, the deadbeat dad at Proton Mail. I also have Instagram, the deadbeat dad. I don't really post much there, but that's just an easy way for people to contact me if they want to reach out. It's kind of like my using it as a backup because I have
Mhm.
some some videos and stuff that people have sent me that I think they're gonna ruffle some feathers in the manosphere. So in case they try to get my channel removed. You can reach me at the poor black man at Instagram, and that's pretty much it. I'll be putting out more content, some educational stuff. I like to think of it as vegetables and junk food. Um,
Mhm.
if I'm poking fun at the manosphere, um, it can be funny and it can also be informational so that people can avoid certain things and they may be considered junk food. And then if I'm, talking, I just posted a video about, the myth of the Asian versus Black um, issue. Um,
Mhm.
you know, it's some data showing who is actually doing all of, who is actually promoting the racism. So you'll get some things
Oh, yeah.
that'll be interesting and educational and funny on my channel, and I'm just honored to have people actually listening to me and watching my videos. It's all I mean, it blows my mind every day.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. You're awesome and you deserve all of the attention and all of the views and everything. So yeah, so thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please check out the Deadbeat Dad channel here on YouTube, and you'll see all of his social media on the bottom of your screen. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Peace. I say, I respect your time. I respect your intelligence. I don't want to just put stuff out just to put stuff out. I want it to be meaningful.